Hello everyone, welcome to day 1 of AWS Security Masterclass. In this video, I'll explain you about AWS Organizations and why it is important for you to know as a cloud security architect or as a cloud security engineer. Let's say you are a cloud security architect and you have joined a company which is new to AWS and they have given you a task to create AWS account. So you create your first AWS account for the company. Let's name it account A. So this is your first AWS account, and for any AWS account, you have to enable the billing payment method so that your monthly invoices are paid on time, and then you have to configure IAM, identity and access management, where you have to set up users, groups, and roles so that your users can access the resources in your AWS account. And you have to enable and configure security services like CloudTrail for logging, guard duty for security monitoring, security hub for cloud security posture management, and config for recording the configuration changes to your AWS resources. And apart from these, you have to have the resources for your application. It can be EC2, ECS, S3, RDS, and whatever resources and services that are required for application, you can have them in your AWS account. As your company grows, there's a requirement for you to create 10 more AWS accounts. So what do? You have to create 10 more AWS accounts individually, and let's name it account B, account C, account D. Again, you have to log into each account individually and then set up IAM, CloudTrail, all the required services. Now, what if your company scales up really fast, getting more clients, and you have to create hundreds of AWS accounts? Creating 100 AWS accounts and configuring all of these required services itself is complex and a tedious task. And think about managing all of these 100 AWS accounts individually. So that is when you should use the AWS Organizations, which allows you to centrally manage multiple AWS accounts. So let me go back to my AWS console and I'll show you my current AWS organization structure. So this is my management account where the organization is set up, and this is the current structure. So when you enable AWS organization, there will be a root node that will be created by default. So under this root node, you can have the organizational units or OUs. You can think of organizational units or OUs as folders where you can group together AWS accounts based on your function or business. So in my organization structure, I have 4 OUs, namely Applications OU, New OU, Security OU, and Test OU. As I expand Security OU, I have 2 AWS accounts under the Security OU, namely Audit account and Log Archive account. And under the Test OU, I do not have any resources. Now you can also create a sub OU or a child OU under this Test OU. So let me show you how. I'll create a Test OU. Under this Test OU, I'll create a new OU. So select this Test OU and go to Actions and click on Create New. I'll name it test underscore POC, organization unit. So I can have all my AWS accounts that are used for testing and POC purposes under this test POC child OU. Let me show you how we can create a new AWS account and place it under this test OU. Scroll up to the top of your organization's page and click on add an AWS account. So there are two ways in which you can add AWS accounts to your organization structure. One, you can create an AWS account directly from the organization console, or if you have existing accounts that you want to be part of your AWS organization, you can send an invite to those existing accounts, and once those accounts accept the invitation, they will be enrolled as part of your AWS organization structure. So now in this case, let me create a new AWS account. I'll call it machine learning test 1. I'll give it a name, and then I have to give an email ID which will be unique for every AWS account, since this will be the root user email ID for that particular account. So let me give my email ID, which will be the root user ID for this particular account. And for the IAM role name, you can use the default organization account as shown. Now click on create AWS account. Now did you notice something? Usually when you create an AWS account individually, it will ask you for a billing payment method. Whereas when I created this AWS account from this organization page, it did not ask me for any billing configuration. The reason is all the AWS accounts that are part of this AWS organization will have centralized consolidated billing that will be managed in the management account. So let's wait for this account to be ready. Yeah, my account is ready, and this account name is ML_test1, and it is under the root node, and I want this ML test account to be under this test OU. So I'll select the AWS account and go to actions and click on move. So I want to move it under the test OU, under which I have a child OU called test POC, and I want my account to be under this test POC. So in this way, you can easily move accounts between OUs. So here I have created test POC OU under the test OU, and under this test POC OU, I have my ML test 1 AWS account which I will use for my machine learning projects. Similarly, you can create any number of accounts and you can easily manage them centrally, categorized and distributed under their respective OUs based on the business or the function. If you want to move this ML test account tomorrow from, let's say, this test OU to this new OU, you can follow the same method. You can just click on this and go to actions and click on move. So let's go back to the whiteboard. So now we have to enable AWS organizations. So let's use AWS account A for that. And once you enable AWS organizations, in this account, it will become the management account. So the first account in the AWS organization will be a management account. So once you enable AWS organizations and configure it, account A will be the management account. So now, as I showed you in my previous console, so you have two options to add AWS accounts to the organization. One, you can create a new AWS account, and now, or you can invite an existing account. So now, as per this whiteboard architecture, account B, C, D, and E are existing accounts. So you have to send an invite from the management account to these 4 accounts so that they are also part of this AWS organization. So you can click on send an invite and then give the account ID. So each AWS account will have a account ID. So you can get it from, let's say, yeah, as you can see in this highlighted in yellow, this is my account ID. Similarly, this account B, C, D, and E will have the account IDs. You can gather the account IDs and send an invitation to those IDs from your management account, and once these accounts accept the invitation to be part of your AWS organization, they will become the member accounts. So they all will become the member accounts. So now your organization structure is ready. So you have a management account, and then you have invited the other existing accounts to be part of your organization, and those will become the member accounts. Now let's say you want to remove an account from your organization. So in this case, let's use the SPX2 account, and I want to remove this from my organization structure. I select that account, I click on actions, I click on remove from organization. Note that removing an account from organization will not close this account. It will only remove this particular account from your organization structure, and it will continue to function as a standalone account. For an account to function as a standalone account, which is not part of an organization, that account should meet few criteria, like it should have its own billing payment method configured, and this account should not be the dedicated administrator for any of your services like guard duty or security hub, things like that. So let me click on remove account. It will fail because I do not have a individual payment method configured for this SPX2 account, so it cannot function as standalone account. So only if it meets all the criteria to function as a standalone account, we will be able to remove this account from this organization. And if you want to close an AWS account, so I'll use the same example. I'll click on SPX2 account, I'll click on actions, and I click on close. I just have to give my ID, the account ID for SPX2 account, and then I click on close account. Once you click on close, your account will be closed. In case you want to close any of your accounts, ensure that you do not have any resources in your AWS account before you click on close account. So this is how you can create OUs, create new AWS accounts, invite existing accounts, and then move the AWS accounts between your OUs and create a child OU. AWS organization, as I mentioned, it will be a consolidated billing. So let me show you how it looks like as well. So let me go to my AWS console, and let me go to my billing, cost management. So this is my management account, and if I go to my invoice, so this first tab which shows charges by service, these are the services that are used in this particular account. And if you want to have account wise breakup, you can click on charges by account. Since all of these accounts, the SDX2, Log Archive, SDX1, SBox, and Audit, are part of my organization, all these billings will be consolidated centrally in this management account. So I can get invoices managed centrally, which I can share with my finance team. And this is why we should use AWS organizations to get consolidated billing, to centrally manage security controls, easy creation of AWS accounts, centralized logging, and take advantage of the volumetric discounts. I hope this video was useful for you. In the next video, I'll explain you about the security controls using service control policies. Thank you.